What is up, you guys? The Fallout Wood here, and today I'm doing a what if that you guys wanted to see for a very long time. Not only that, I decided to redo this whole series again, because I knew you guys wanted me to do something fun with it, and what I was going for was kind of like the same thing, but with different qualities. So I've decided to do it again in a different way. So here it goes. What if Deku was the reincarnation of Kratos? Or the God of War, because I'm going to usually say the God of War. By the storyline, I'm going to say Kratos, alright? Now, let's begin. So, how does this all work? You may be asking. Well, it starts off with Kratos burying his dead son. As you can see right there, Atreus died during the whole Ragnarok thing. And Kratos, too old to fight, marched up onto Odin's hall and said, "Odin, I challenge you to a fight. I know that you've been waiting for me for a very long time, and I have been waiting for you. You murdered my son. You left this whole place, Midgard, and other realms in ruin. For that, you shall pay with your life." Odin saying, "Oh, shall I? Well, you think this will be easy, but I am the All-Father. I am known as the Raven King. What makes you, somebody not of our land, think he can beat us?" And this is when other gods ascend. And this is when Mimir say, "Oi, how you been, Odin? Or should I say your king, Raven King, or the All-Father? Well, you've been playing around with this wretched fiend, have you? Yes. And for his loyalty, he will see your demise. You think that this death is going to be on me, but no, it is not. I am the king, remember that. I have been here for a reason. I am the god of all gods." And this is when Kratos takes up his blades of chaos and he says, "Well, as a matter of fact, you are the king of all gods in this realm. But in my realm, I've killed the Pantheon." And these two fights, Blade, and actually, I don't know what Odin would have, but the thing is, freaking Kratos would just have his blades of chaos, and he has that weird thing on his shoulder, on his side. I don't know what that is, but it looks pretty cool. But either way, these two fights, and Kratos and Odin are fighting head to head, blade versus blade. Let's just say that with another blade. Freaking fire versus ice. The god of Greece versus the god of the Norse, or god of Valhalla. No, not Valhalla. Of Midgard. I forgot what this actually where it's actually like. The god of Greece versus the god of the Norse. So, these two are still fighting. After time has passed, Odin is down on his knees. And Kratos says, "Is there any last words before I chop your head off?" Odin says, You may have beaten me, but that doesn't mean you've beaten my pantheon. And Kratos smirks, saying, as long as you are gone, they will kill themselves. They will fight amongst themselves and cause chaos on their own. But for you, the responsible one to kill my child, the one who's killed my child, you are the only one I am looking for, and I have slain finally. With that, he chops off freaking Kratos' head. And this is when Kratos is still bleeding, and he looks at his arms and his legs, and even sees his stomach and his chest a bit, and he says, I might actually die. Well, either way, I have avenged you, son. And this is when other gods start to look around him, because they thought that he was going to lose. Odin thought he was going to lose, but it turns out you should never just knock out the god of war. I mean, you should never count, I forgot what the saying, how the saying goes, but give me a moment here. So, after that, one of the gods tries to fight him. And I don't know a lot of gods in this one, but yeah, let's just say a random god tries to fight him thinking he can take him out. This is when Kratos looks at him and says, you do not want this fight. And this is when the guy stops himself for a second here, and he says, wait a minute, you're old. You're weakened right now. Why shouldn't we kill you? This is when he says, because I am more trouble than you are willing to give. I'm more trouble than I'm worth. This is when the guy says, oh really? And he takes a swing at Kratos' stomach. This is when he falls to the ground and he coughs up blood. And this is when Mimir says, hi, you shouldn't be trying to test the gods right now. You're weakened right now. This is when he says, shut up, Ed. And this is when Kratos grabs the guy and freaking hits him on the head. Or he basically head bangs him. And freaking the guy is on the ground. This is when Kratos grabs his freaking axe and just chops one of his legs off. This is when the rest of the gods start attacking him, and Kratos, even though for 30 seconds he held his own, he couldn't have won. Kratos literally kept pushing and pushing and pushing again. He fought Odin. He fought a god. Not only that, with the whole the castle is somewhere else. Like I said, I wouldn't know where it's at, but I know it's nowhere near Midgard. So, with that being said, yeah, Kratos took a while getting here, and even so, he still fought until the bitter end. Kratos died. This is when Mimir says, well, it's been nice knowing you. I'm glad I got to meet you. Ghost of Sparta. This is when Kratos closes his eyes and he says, you too. But now, I guess I will see my son in the afterlife. I know that he will be sad seeing me up there, but at least I will be with my family forever. And this is when basically Kratos was, well, on his dying breath, looking up. And then he saw somebody he never thought he would see again. After all, oh, sorry about that. Sheesh. Well, you guys already saw, but, I'm going to use some of the same ships because those were adorable. But anyway, Kratos saw Freyja, and Mimir said, "Oh no, are you going to help him out? Or did you just come here to see him die?" This is when Freyja says, "He's not going to his family. No. He's not going anywhere with his family. I told you I would still have revenge on you. There's nothing you can do or say to change my mind." And this is when Freyja basically was grabbing him and taking him back because, well, the gods didn't care as much to see Freyja because, as far as they know, she was still the queen of Asgard. Although nobody understood where Asgard was at. Now, at this time, Kratos was alive again, but something was wrong. He thought he would be with his family, but no. He sees that he is on a table made out of stone, and he says, "Why am I not dead yet? Where am I at? Who are you?" And this is when she says, "Oh, you don't remember me, huh?" This is when she looks back, and she still looks young. Like, for some unknown reason, she still looks young, because she's like the witch of the woods, so of course she would look young, but she looks a little older, I guess. She has a little bit of gray hair sticking everywhere, but Freyja, well, she basically places a curse on him. After finding out how to get rid of her curse that Odin gave her, yeah, she's still going to, how do I say this? She's going to curse him onto giving him another life. And this one, his life is going to be different. And not only that, it burdens another person, Deku. She doesn't know where he's going to be at, but knowing that he's not going to live, he's not going to die, kind of irritated him. But he understood very well that this is all his doing. In a way, he takes responsibility. And Deku is going to be the one, well, he is going to be the one who takes the fall for it. Now, I'm going to give me a moment here, people, because I need to get my water. Now, this whole thing with Deku's soul being Kratos' soul, well, it is true. It's 100% true. There's nothing stopping me or stopping that. All I'm going to say is that Kratos, his past is locked up. Now, going on to Deku, he does not know who he is, where he came from, what he was, what's going to happen to him in the near future. Due to a friendly reminder of Athena, because of the whole fact that nobody saw Athena die. As far as I know, if I play the game, maybe I forgot about it. Athena never died. Everybody else did in the pantheon. So when Freyja met Athena, she broke her curse. That is why she was able to, well, That is why she was able to actually free her of her curse, because of Athena's magic and her all of the power that she had. She wanted revenge on him just as much as Freyja did. Freyja only because she killed her son. Athena only because he took away her power. Now, Freyja did still care about Kratos a lot. Deep down inside, she knows she cared about him, and she knows he was right. But, due to Athena not understanding this whole situation, basically, she teleported him instead of a place where he was powerless. She teleported him to a place where he could at least restart. The thing was, her revenge was only making sure that he never actually got that chance to go with his family again. And even though it's another 100 years before Kratos can go back to, I guess, Valhalla. They're going to basically not stay in. He's going to be in Earth. And now we cut to the whole point, well, to the part of Deku being born. Now, Deku's birth, it was a strange one, at least, because Deku was powerful already. Not powerful, but it was like he was fuming with essence of something else. Hold on here. Alright, so, like I said, we're going to cut out to Deku's birth. He was filled with power. His body was gleaming with it. Although he didn't have the strength of a god, it was as if that he was born to rule a country. He was like born to defeat people in battle. That armies would be that will be beloved by him. People who think that they were strong would have no chance against him in comparison. He really thought that this kid was that of a god. It was the fact that he had like that potential. But not only that, what he realized was that he felt fear holding this baby, holding this child. Nobody understood what was going on with it, but we all know he was born a god, and now his soul is that of a god, making Deku part god, part human already. Now, Deku was basically crying. When he cried, it was louder than others, but it was normal. And when Inko gave birth to him, she was already weak. It took everything out of her to basically, well, it took a lot out of her to birth Deku. And basically, Deku was pretty much okay, but we can't have a God of War with Deku without a tragedy in our hands. And a tragedy, there is a tragedy. Deku and Inko's bond and love for each other, at least Inko's love for him, was short-lived due to a man basically attacking, well, the whole hospital. And not only that, it was because, well, he got into some trouble, and basically they were having a fight, and after that people told him to stop. And this was Muscular, because only this guy would think about shedding blood of innocent people out of pure joy. So Deku was basically just crying, and people were people could hear fighting and people dying. Not only that, women screaming and all this stuff. Inko was wondering what was that noise. She looked. She got up because the doctors were gone, and she saw a hulking man basically right there, stopping and stomping the ground. And she was scared. All people could hear is more screaming and Deku crying. So basically she held Deku in her arms and said, "My sweet boy, please, if there's a God out there, if there's anybody out there, hear my plead. Please protect this child. I don't know if I'm going to live, but as long as he's okay, I don't care about my own life anymore if he can live." This is when Muscular sees this girl praying, and he laughs and smiles a bit, and he's looking at her and just like waiting for her to be done. And she looks behind her and sees Deku and sees Muscular there. Now, Muscular saying, "Oh, look at that. Really, I was actually having fun with this. You were praying to people who don't actually exist. You were praying you were going to think that he was going to live? Oh, no. You have nothing to worry about. He's not going to leave your side at all, because I'm going to make sure that both of you die together like a big happy family." Is about to grab her. And basically, she says, "Get away from me." And this is when he says, "Oh, we got a fighter here." And this is when he starts choking her. Now, normally Inko would have a lot of strength to fight this battle, at least a lot of strength in her to push at least a few, to push him back even for a centimeter. But it's the fact that she's too weak. Not only that, she's slowly dying due to the whole thing of, giving birth to a god. It's going to happen, and it takes a life out of you for some unknown reason. Except for Kratos, when he was actually in the beginning, he talked to his own mother. I am confused about that one. That was a little iffy, but gotta cut them some slack. Now, Deku basically was looking at him, and he doesn't actually know his past or anything like that, but just something made him just look at him with no more tears. And he starts to look at the child and says, "Who are you? Look at this. A specimen, I see. Looking at your eyes, you're not showing me any fear. You think you're better than me?" And this is when Inko says, "Please, he's just a kid. He's a baby. He probably stopped crying afterwards." And this is when he says, "Oh, no. I know that this kid is something. I can feel it. It makes me just want to rip him up, tear him apart, and just make sure that he's covered in blood." Inko says, "Please have mercy. You can do whatever you want with me. You can kill me. You can torture me. You can do anything. Just please spare my boy. My sweet baby boy." And this is when basically the heroes find him and start attacking him. He drops the baby, but Inko actually, Inko is, how do I say it? She catches him, landing on her stomach, and this is when Kratos starts to cry again. She says, "Don't worry, sweetie. Mama's got you." And Muscular got mad, thinking, even if I dropped that child, she still was a nuisance. At least let me hear him scream. And this is when he basically stomps on her back and snaps it. And Inko is just basically trying to breathe, but she can't. It's like all the oxygen left her lungs, and she's slowly fading. But even so, she starts humming and holding Deku, holding her child. In the very end, Deku is not doing anything at all, but just sleeping now. After all that time, she finally got him to sleep, actually. She actually got him to sleep. Now, Deku was just resting his eyes. And you can hear fighting going on. People getting hurt. Muscular grunting and yelling, "I'll kill anybody! Let me kill them at least!" And this is when Inko is smiling and saying, "I love you, Izuku. Take care." And that's what happened. After that, Inko dies with a smile on her face, saying that at least the heroes are there. She doesn't have to worry about her son anymore. Deku will be safe. Even so, even though her life was going to be a means to an end, she's happy that she at least got to have her son, even for those few more seconds in her arms. Deku sleeps, and life goes on again. In the past couple of months, they're taking care of him. The nurses all think he's adorable, even though he has a weird face at times. Now, even though his eyes are different, they look like Kratos' now. It's shiny. His eyes are basically weirder. They're darker. They have like a color to them that's so beautiful. But his eyes inside, they look dead. They're full of life, but they look dead at the same time. But he is just a child. What has he gone through for this to happen? Now, Deku, at the age of 4, since we're skipping some time right here because I'm not going to be talking about all this time, the whole what if about him being a baby. We cut off to him being 4 years old. You guys would probably know, in a foster home, or in a, what is it called? It's the child center, where there's no kids, or there's kids gone, where there's supposed to be no more kids or no parents. The abortion home, or I forgot what it was called. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you guys remember, just comment down on the chats. Help me out with my retardation, because it needs a little bit of help. But anyway, Deku was there, where kids don't have parents. And during that time, he's got into a lot of trouble, fighting and such, making makeshift weapons, trying to do some exercises and telling other people to exercise with him and calling them weak. He's practicing a little bit of Spartan he has Spartan tendencies still. I mean, think about it. He's been a Spartan his whole life, so of course he's going to have, like, this urge to train and to fight. And he's just like, I'm gotta get stronger, gotta get better and, faster, gotta beat people up. That's the way you have to live life. Gotta make sure that everybody is, taken care of. That's how we do things. Doing push-ups and such. And he's looking around, and it's like nobody actually wants to talk to him. So he says, well, I guess it doesn't matter as much. They don't want to be my friend. I'm not going to force it on them. Now, Deku is running around. Well, yeah, running around. And he meets a couple of people. A couple of friends. And these people were pretty much okay. Were pretty much very okay. Like, they really, 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 really love, having fun. And these were the kids of outside. Now, the kids of outside are basically just, regular kids that you would see outside with parents and stuff. He sometimes just secludes himself from the inside, so that way he could read books and stuff. I mean, come on now. He doesn't have a PlayStation or anything like that, or a Nintendo, or an Xbox, or a Wii U. That's technically an Xbox. That's technically a Nintendo. But anyway. So, what happens is Deku is playing around, and he does see a couple of kids. One of them happens to be Mina. And another one known as Kataki. Because, like I said, I'm going to use, the ships from last time, because I think they were a good fit, fun and explosive. Now, Kataki and Mina talk to Deku. Deku, though, kind of curious about these two. They don't seem to be bothered by him. But he realizes that they're not the people from the foster home. I think that's what they call it, foster home? I'm not sure. But they were having a blast talking and, telling them, hey, what's your name? Deku is, reading his book, and he's looking up at them, and he says, my name is Izuku. Izuku... Well, my last name used to be Midoriya, but I don't have any more parents, so, I don't have a last name, I guess. And this is when they say, wait, you don't have a last name? No, like I said, I lost my parents. And this is when Deku is, saying, who are you? Now, Mina and Kataki are basically, telling him, oh, my name is Mina Ashido, and this is my friend Kataki Bakugo. We are friends, me and her, and we like playing around and stuff. Say, why don't you throw away the book and, play with us? And he says, I'm not sure I know how to play at all. And this is when they say, what do you mean? Hold on, give me a moment here, people. Sorry about all that. Now, Mina asked him to play. Deku didn't know what to think of this. Not a lot of people liked playing with him. And he didn't know for sure that he would be good at playing. If he thinks about it, all he likes doing is, fighting. Yeah, he likes a bit of fighting now and then, but he does like peace. It's the fact that he's a little reckless at times. That's when people don't like playing with him anymore, because he has weird strength. Well, he's a little bit stronger than if he was 4, he would be stronger than an 8-year-old. or at least some a bit more strong as an 8-year-old. So the more he gets older, the more powerful he gets. But either way, there's a lady that walks up to him and says, "Izuku, it's time to go." And Deku says, "But wait a minute, I wanted to play with my new friends." And this is when she says, "That is nice, but it's time to go." And Deku says, "Alright. You'll see them soon." This is when Deku goes. He doesn't have a smile on his face anymore. It's almost as that of fear. Sure, he may be a little bratty, like, hey, look, I'm doing this. Don't get on top of there. And he's like, doesn't matter as much. He falls down. Now he understands why. But he was basically getting hit by a more softer whip, but a whip nonetheless. For every time somebody disobeys, she comes to them and just whips them for at least a good 5 seconds. The more bad that they did, the more of a whoop that she gave. Deku usually tried to, hide his face, but she would always say, don't you dare hide your face, otherwise it's gonna get hurt, it's gonna get far more worse. And this is when Deku says, "I'm sorry." This is when she says, "Good." And this is when she basically starts whipping him. How dare you? How dare you think you can just... I forgot the word, but she goes along the lines of, "How dare you make a fool out of me today? I try to teach you discipline, and yet you just say, 'But I want to play with my friends.'" Cut the crap. Sorry about that. You are a child. You must obey when other people say things. You must be an obedient little brat. Otherwise, we have no place for you in here. This is when Deku says, I'm sorry, I didn't, you just what? You just want to play with your quote-unquote friends? Please, you don't have any friends. These people will look at you, and after they realize what person you are, the kind of monster you are, they'll just leave. They don't care about you. Sure, they might find you fascinating at first, but when it comes down to it, you're a freak. But it's because of me that you are still breathing. Deku doesn't know what to say. He just feels bad for himself, thinking that he was supposed to do something good. Now, there was not just this incident. There was other incidents too. She was not just any, sitter of the house. Oh, no. She was also a Christian-like woman. Yeehaw. Now, Deku didn't know about this at first, but she is very ruthless when it comes to punishments. She will make sure you understand your place. And she will always say these lines. Well, if you think that's so bad, pray. Pray. If you just pray, then everything will be fine. You must do what he says. Because if not, you will burn. And Deku says, well, what if there's other gods? And this is when she says, what was that? What was that you just said that I think that you just said? And he says, well, you say there's gods, but there's only one God, but I've read different books saying that there's a pantheon, a pantheon of books. I mean, of gods. Why aren't they real? This is when she says, "Oh, you think that they are real? No, no, no. They are not real. All they are is just people who sinned and think that they're something like gods. But you must understand that these people are not gods whatsoever." And not only that, there's classrooms inside of the whatever place that there's a lot of kids at. And Deku says, "But how do we know that he's the real? How do we know that they're not the real gods?" And this is what she says: "Because it says it all in this book." Anything else, Izuku? Well, there's that book, and there's writings and different arts and different words and different letters talking about, about different other gods, and there's just a book. Don't you think that it would be weird to just think that there's only one? Yeah, sure, there could be one god, but think about it. There could be a plethora of gods, or there could be a whole lot of other gods as well. They might be fun too. And this is when she says, "Enough. Why must it be always you? Why? Every time I try to do something, or teach something, or ask of something, you always seem to mock me." He says, "I didn't know. I was just trying to stop back-talking, Izuku." And this is when Izuku says, "I'm trying to explain myself, because if this is a conversation, I have to give my side as well." She says, "No, you don't. I am the adult and you are the child. I'm the teacher, you are the student." And this is when Deku says, "But even so," this is when she basically gets angry eyes on Deku. And Deku looks down. And she basically starts whipping him again. After school, or after class, she says, "Izuku, stay behind." And all the other kids knew that he kind of messed up. And Deku says, "Yes, ma'am." And she basically starts whipping this kid even harder. But not with just with the softer whip. No, she's going with the medium whip. She's actually just making sure at least he has cuts, and at least some scratches on him. And starts yelling at him, saying, "You miserable child. Do you know who I am? I am the person who took care of you when you were still just an infant. They let you come to this. Place because they knew that you needed to be taken care of. Now, I don't know what's going on with this phase of yours, but I will not have you disrupting the good Lord's name." And he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you weren't still little, I would kick you out. But either way, it's no use with you. You're just a lost cause. Get out of my sight. And if I ever hear you talking about this again, I will make sure to use my other whip. And it's not going to be the soft one. Do I make myself clear? Yes, ma'am. Good. Now, run along then. Deku is basically looking depressed. He basically is going outside. Give me a second here, people. Now, he sees Mina, actually. And Mina says, "Hey, Katsuki, he's back." And this is when she says, "Really?" And they see Deku, and Deku's right there on the stairs. And they basically walk to him, and he says, and they say, "Hey, Deku, hey, Izuku, why are you crying, actually? Why are you crying?" I did bad things, and I got punished for it." This is when they say, this is when Mina says, "Bad things? Like what? Did you eat a cookie from the cookie jar like you weren't supposed to?" I usually do that at times. And this is when she says, No. You must have been using hardcore language. I do that at times because I hear a lot of bad things where I'm from." And this is when he says, No, nothing like that." Oh boy, if I was ever to say something like that, I would be... I'd be in so much trouble. "So what did you say? Or what did you do?" "It's nothing. Nothing at all. It's because I got in trouble, but you don't have to worry. You said you wanted to play before, right?" This is when Katsuki says, "Yeah, we want to play with you." And this is when Deku says, I want to play with you too, as I want to play with both of you as well." And they basically go on around playing. Deku doesn't know how to play, but he's actually getting used to it. And Deku is having fun. Now, Deku has so much fun that basically he forgets a lot about what happened. And something happens, though, once he takes a nap. This is when a couple of, let's say a month goes by, and even though he doesn't do anything bad, she still tries to do something to make sure that he gets in trouble. And then she can whip him, because there's a lot of bratty kids, but she knows that the one person that doesn't say a thing, that doesn't tell on her, is the one kid that she basically whipped. She whips on a day-to-day basis now. And she realizes that she can get away with this. She can get away with this and nothing bad will happen to her. Or so she thinks. Because after a month has passed, Deku is basically, he has a dream months later, after playing with Katsuki and, Mina. They say that they're going to promise each other to meet each other one day at school. Because one day she's going to try to be a hero. Try to have fun. Deku says, "What's a hero?" And Katsuki says, "A hero is basically somebody who..." Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm getting tired now. I forgot. It is about to be the middle of the night. But we can still have fun. Just even if it's a little bit more time, as usual. But Deku is saying, I think heroes are cool. I saw this one person who always had a smile on his face. And that smile reminds me of somebody else's. Even though things go bad, he gives people hope. That's something to be happy about, at least. But I have to at least take a nap before I go. before I go. And this is when Kadeki is like, come on now. I'm getting tired as well. So, you know what? Let's all take a nap. Hopefully we don't stay up a little too late. My mom's not going to get mad at me. Hopefully. And if she does, it's Mina's fault. Hey. And Deku is basically, being more excited because this is he's understanding how fun works, and he's pretty much being a regular child. Well, that all changes. He goes to sleep, and Deku is basically looking around, and he sees nothing but dust, fog, cold snow on his feet. He sees that there's different monuments. He sees a man watching over a skeleton with horns, candles, a pyramid behind him, some trees, him looking straight down. And this is when Deku looks at him and says, sir? And the man looks at him, looking at a child, saying, yes, can I help you? I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at. Can you help me? And this is when Kratos says, yes, I will help you, as long as you get out of here. Deku says, why is that? And this is when a nightmare comes and basically starts going into Izuku's mind. He's wondering, how is he having a dream within a dream? Where is he at? And the man basically grabs the nightmare and just squishes it, exploding pretty much everywhere. Deku is scared, but he isn't frightened at all from the adult. The man says, boy, you are in a dream. The fact that you know where this place is tells me that you have potential. And Deku says, wait, who are you though? I am you. And he says, I don't get it. You're old. You're very old. And Kratos says, I know, but you are going to be going through your own trials and your own tribulations. You'll be tested by people. You'll get into fights that you wish not to be in, but you have no choice. I want you to know that I am you and you are me. You know that I'm not going to hurt you at all. You are too young, too innocent. You suffered great loss already. You are suffering from a wicked woman. I will train you. Now, I think it's best that you leave for this moment. And Deku says, but wait a minute, I still have more. Enough. This is not up for debate. For debate. You must leave now. I will find you myself. Believe me, if there's one thing I know, is that fate always comes around with me. Even though fate comes around with me, I am the one who will triumph in the end. And Deku is saying, what happened? Where am I? This is when he realizes that he's grabbed by two big men. And Deku says, What's happening? And this is when he says, wait, Miss? Now, this is just, her name is going to be Miss, because we all don't like her already because of what she's doing to poor Deku. Well, what I'm doing to poor Deku, but it's her that's doing it. I'm just giving off the words and the storyline. Yeah, that's it. Not doing nothing at all. Oh boy. So anyway, Deku says, Miss, what's happening? Why are they grabbing me? And she says, you are late. Again. And I realized something, Izuku. You're not going to change. You're really not going to change unless we beat that mentality out of you. Be rejoiced, for the Lord is now going to help you. Through my whips, you will be given a new light. And Deku says, Miss, but I saw someone. He said, I know who he is. He is me. And he says, oh, well, I guess I can hear one of your stories before, you stop speaking for a while. But don't worry, I won't kill you. Oh, no. That itself would be a sin. Because even though you are a vile sinner, a monster, a freak, I still won't hurt you to the point where you die. You're just going to be crying a lot. And Deku is basically saying, please, just let me go. I'm trying to explain. She says, oh yeah, explain. He says, I saw a man. I was having a dream. And he was wearing red. It was as if he was mourning somebody. Oh, mourning somebody. Alright. What was he doing there? And he says, he was mourning somebody. It was as if it was a child. Or somebody he knew, an adult. He had horns on his head. It says horns, huh? Well, okay, I guess I'll still listen to what you have to say. He had markings. He had some red stuff on his face, like me. Oh, really? Like you? Tell me, what was his name then? He says his name was Kratos. He was old. But I saw his eyes. He looked sad. He said that he knows who I am, and he says that I am him. And this is when she says, well, as far as I know, and I do know a lot, is that he is a Greek person. And this is when he says, but no, here's the thing, ma'am. He's more than a Greek person. He's a god. And he says, what was that? What did you just say? Miss, I understand that you're upset, and please forgive me, but he says that he's a god. That he came from somewhere. Now, I didn't actually explain everything, but they were having a chat, like at least a good 3 minutes long, explaining that he's him, but he's going to help him out. And this is when Deku is like saying, look, he says that he is a god. He looks like he was powerful. I don't know what to think of this. And she says, you really don't believe it. You really do love to test my patience with you, boy. Boy. He called me that too. look, I'm sorry, but I don't believe there's just one God. And she gets mad. And she knows deep down inside, she knows she wants him to say it. And he says, I don't believe that there's just one God. I think there's more than that now. And she basically smacks him with a backhand, saying, enough. You have driven my patience. You are a sinner. And if you want to get punished for those memories, so be it. She grabs the whip. But Deku is saying, I need you to believe me. And it's the harder whip, so she smacks him. And smacks him again. Whips him on his legs, on his shirt, on his back, on his face. He's having scars on him. And Deku says, please, I'm begging you. I know that you are not understanding. But this is the truth. I need you to believe me. And she says, really? You really think that's going to happen, eh? Well, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do this, but you leave me with no choice. You two. Give him a proper lesson in manners and respect. And the two start beating down on him and kicking him and pushing him on the ground, making sure he can't get up. They basically are bigger than him, so they're pretty much just doing a lot of damage to him right now, making him basically have a purple eye already, having one of his ribs cracked, having his arm bruised, having him so weak that he can't even get up. And Deku is saying, why? I don't know why you can be so ignorant. And she says, really? You think ignorance is what's happening here? Grow up. I learned that there's nothing that is better, there's nothing better than showing people who don't know the way of the eyes of God more respect. We should have you all burned for your trickery and your lies. But it's because I'm a good person. You know that, don't you? And Deku says, no. She smacks him, saying, I'll pretend, I think that, you feel, getting punished a little bit has got in your head a little dizzy. Now, you believe in it. You believe that I'm a good person, right? He says, no, you are not a good person. And Deku looks up with tears. You are truly evil. And this is when she says, well, I'm sorry, Izuku. I really am. I thought that this was the only way to cure you of your sicknesses. A vile wretch. An outcast. Like the rest of these kids over here. But they know respect. But you, not one bit. So I'm going to make sure that they know that there's a sinner here. And Deku is looking at hot pokers. If you don't know what those are, they're basically a thing that you move around the campfire. But it's more than just pokers. It's it's more than a poker. It's a brand of it's basically a brand of a demonic rune of a demonic rune. And Deku says, "What are you going to do with that?" He says, "Oh, you will know. You will see when I'm done. You will see and feel it." And Deku says, "Please, don't. I'm begging you. I'm scared. I'm scared." And he realizes that every time he breathes, he remembers the battle that he had a long time ago with people he doesn't even know yet, but he's starting to remember. He sees that there's the man that was there with white hair, now black, without a ponytail. He sees that this man is more different than him, but he's the same as him. And he knows that if he calls his name, not only will he remember him, but he will start to basically win. With this man's help, this is the only shot that he has of getting out of this hell. He thought that there was something good, but no, this was just evil. This was sin itself. This is no better than what a demon would do. And Deku starts to pray, "God of war, I need your help." And for context, yeah, she didn't hear that part. So all she hears is, "God, give me hope and give me power." And she says, "Oh, you finally get it now. Well, too bad. Even though we know that you're going to start praying, even though I'm going to make sure you start praying, it was fun to at least know that you were going to change your ways already." And Deku says, "Please, I need your help. I need your power." And this is when they're just basically, well, already understanding what's going to happen. So they brace for the worst. And it's not the fact that they know what's going to happen. It's the fact that they know that the brand is going to be hitting Deku's skin in a couple of seconds. And this is when he's in his mindset and hears Kratos say, "Are you ready to live? I am ready to live. Are you ready to die to protect yourself? I am ready to live and to die to protect myself. Will you falter in your resolve?" "I will not falter. I will not falter." "Are you sure you're ready to handle the burden of a god?" "I am more than ready. I'm desperate. Desperate. I understand. But you must fight this battle as well. I'll give you the power, but you must know who you truly are and what we stand for." And Deku, with his mind breaking, he starts to feel it. And he says, "God of war." And she says, "You insolent brat." And this is when she realizes that Deku was saying that along the lines when she thought that Deku was saying God. He was always breathing something else, but she never caught on. And she basically was about to stab him with the brazier, with the brand. And Deku just yells. An eruption, an explosion just comes out, and Deku is roaring, saying, "You are not going to hurt me." And Deku says, "No longer am I going to be hurt by you." And Deku is basically walking. And basically the two guys that fell got up again. They said, "Grab him!" And Deku ducked under the guy, grabbing him, tripping him, making his face fall on top of the brand, and screaming out of pain. Deku was about to be grabbed again by the guy, but Deku punches him and actually hits him so hard in the nose that starts to bleed. And he basically grabs the blood that's coming out of his nose. And the guy that gets up from getting hurt, basically he throws that puddle of freaking, or at least the puddle in his hand of blood onto the guy's face, making him blind. Now Deku grabs the guy and basically is pulling him down. And not only that, he hits him square in the nuts. After all that happens, he grabs a lamp and basically smashes it onto the guy's head. And not only that, making sure that the other guy is going down, he grabs the freaking stick that was in the back, or at least the background, and he basically smashes it in the head. After that, hitting him in the knees, and then after that, hitting him in the jaw, cracking it. And Deku says, I have to relive this again. It's alright. I'm not scared anymore about that. But you have no longer control over me. Give me a second here, people. Now, so, yeah, she's looking at Deku. The lady is looking at Deku. Deku is looking at her, and basically she says, "I'm not afraid of you, brats. You think that just because you took those two down is an impressive feat? Please, God is my sword and my shield." And Deku says, "Yeah, he may be your sword and shield, but I am the god of war." And this is what she says, "I changed my mind. Now that I think about it, I should have been more, fruitful in my, torture or my punishment. You shouldn't have been beaten. You should have been murdered." And basically takes a big freaking knife out, like a steak knife. Oh, not a steak knife, a dagger. And tries to stab him. But Deku basically just grabs the hot poker and just stamps it on her head. Basically just holding it there and holding it there and holding it there. Deku hears her cries of pain. And Deku gets up, looking around, seeing some of the other kids. Now, they understand what had happened. And they understand that Deku basically hurt them. But they are all indebted to him. She was a scary woman that would hurt anybody that would do bad. Yeah, sure, she took it out on mostly Deku, but they were scared because they didn't want to get hurt. Deku didn't even get mad at them. Not even doesn't matter. He says, "All of you, you are now all okay. You have nothing to fear anymore. Go on with your lives. Make sure they're happy. Live long and joyful. I will make sure that all of you are at least okay from her. Not only that, we have to call the police. And they do. They find out about her. She was a very senile woman. The two men got arrested too, so yeah. Not only that, they were interrogating the kid, or basically saying, why'd you do all that? And Deku said, I did it because they hurt my friends. They hurt me. And that they needed to pay for what they've done. And they said, alright, we won't arrest you because you're still a kid. We're not even upset with you because of what happened. Just make sure that if this does happen, call the police, alright? We are your friends. We are here to help you. And this is when Deku says, thank you. I am grateful to you all. This is when he passes by. And a lot of the kids are there waiting for his arrival. Because the kids knew that they at least wanted to see him again. And Deku saw them. All of them. Sure, there was at least 34 kids there. At least at that center. At least at that place. But this is when the woman yells from basically the jail cell that they put criminals in before they're taken to custody. She says, You are nothing more than a monster, a freak. I controlled you. You are mine. You will never change. Sure, you've got a little stronger, but it doesn't matter to me because you are no child. You freak of nature. You monster. You sinner. And Deku sees the kids scared out of their minds, just all huddling together, just to make sure that nobody can hurt them. And Deku says, You are right. I am a monster. I am a sinner. I've done terrible things in my previous past. But there's one thing. I am your monster no longer. You do not have control over me. And I can at least smile at the fact that you are going to a special place. That place you taught us so much about. The place that you criticized all of us of going because of our nature of being just children. I'd say it's you that has to be watching out now. Because after this is over, you're going to see him very soon. Or at least, you're going to be expecting him one day at least. But not now. This is when Deku is just walking and she starts crying. And everybody just starts to head over there with a school bus. With actually nice people. Nice people. The people that just care about the kids. People that care about them. Now, among their arrival, nobody actually found out about something, but there's another ship that's going to happen. But we're going to save that for the next video. After all that's happened, Deku saved the day. He found out about his heritage. Now, he's not automatically strong. He used the tiniest bits of strength that Kratos gave to him. Because he didn't want him to just automatically feel this power and be corrupted by the power that was given to him. So Deku was saying, thank you. Hey, I wanted to say, I know about our past, and I know that you are your own person, but if it makes you feel any better, If anything, I would trade my life for yours. And this is when Kratos says, why would you do something so foolish? And Deku says, well, it's because it is because you are somebody who needs to see the light. And rather than feeling sad, I would at least like to see you smile, even for once. And Kratos says, I understand. Now go. Leave me be. I'll train you I'll train you tomorrow. Now, I'm going to leave it off here. If you guys liked it, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout Whatever here. Bye.